The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Once the Baal Shem Tov Friday night made Kiddush, and he had his students around him. They were called the Chavraya Kadisha, the holy group. As he was making Kiddush, he finished Kiddush. He drank, he gave the wine to the people around the table, and he started to laugh. This was very uncharacteristic. He was like kvelling and laughing. Nobody made a joke. They didn't understand why he's laughing. They finished the fish, they washed hamaitzi, this fish, finished the fish, and he started to laugh again. Just laughing. It was very strange. They served the yoich, the soup, and then the chicken, whatever they had there, the chicken, and he starts laughing again. Nobody felt, audacious enough, I guess, to ask him, so nobody said anything. But Motzei Shabbos, one of his closer students, went over after Ma'ariv, after Havdalah, and he said, Rebbe, can I ask a question? He said, you were laughing 3 times after Kiddush, after the fish, after the chicken. What was the laughter all about? So the Baal Shem Tov said, go to the end of the city and ask Shapsi, the bookbinder, if he could come over. So he goes to Shapsi, the bookbinder, and he says, the Baal Shem Tov asked if he could come over to the Beis Medrash, to the Shul in Mezhibur. So he comes over. So the Baal Shem Tov tells him, Shapsi, can you share with everybody what happened Friday night in your house? He says, Rebbe, don't embarrass me. I won't do it again. He says, no, it's not embarrassing. I want everybody to know what happened. If you don't mind sharing what happened Friday night in your house. So he says, okay, I'll share. You know, Rebbe, he says, for me and my wife, Shabbos is an amazing day. And I always saved up money for my bookbinding business to have a little extra to be able to buy wonderful, delicious food and delicacies to celebrate Shabbos as we should. But you know, the last few weeks, there's been heavy snows here in this part of the Ukraine and Mezhibur, and nobody came to bind their books. He was a bookbinder. Bookbinding was a parnasa, was a meager income, but it was an income. Nobody came. And I didn't have any savings. So it came before Shabbos. It was Thursday night, and I tell my wife, not one customer came. I don't even have a kupka. Kupka would be like a penny, or a ruble would be like $1, Russian currency, Polish at the time, called a ruble. Today a ruble is also like a penny, thanks to Putin. But in any case, I didn't have even a ruble for Shabbos. So my wife says, so what do you want to do Shabbos? I said, there's nothing. I can't even afford a candle. You should be able to light candles. Never mind a piece of fish, never mind wine. That's what happened. So Thursday night we spoke and we realized this is a situation, and I shed a tear, my wife shed a tear, and we went to bed hungry. Friday morning, I realized for me to stay in the house it's going to be very depressing. So after Shachris, I decided I'll just stay in shul and I'll learn. And I learned the Parsha of the week, and I was Ma'avid the Sedra, and I said Shir Hashirim, and I went to the mikveh, and I prepared for Shabbos. And I knew that I'm coming home. It says, Asay Shabbat Chachel Val Tetzarech Lebrius. I'm coming home not to a regular Shabbos. But that's it. There's nothing to do. So he says, after Ma'ariv, I came home. And as I come close to my house, I see this light coming from our windows. Beautiful light. I see candles glowing. I open the door and I smell. It's like Sudas Shloime B'Shaita. Such a smell. Gan Eden. Levyasan B'Tshar Habar. I walk into the house and I see a tablecloth set up with foods and delicacies we never even dreamt of. My wife prepared our Shabbos meal. So I look at her and I say, where did you get all of this? So she said, I saw you paint Thursday night, how pained you were. So after you went to shul Friday morning, I decided, let me search. Maybe I have some old clothes that maybe have something expensive. And I found an old coat that I haven't used many years. It had golden buttons. So I went immediately. I took off the buttons. And I went to the man who deals with gold. And I got a wonderful sum of money. And I bought candles. And I bought the best food for Shabbos. So we'll have a beautiful Shabbos. So here we have. He says, I can't thank you enough. And we did Shalom Aleichem together and Eishes Chayil together. And when I said Eishes Chayil Meyimtza, I certainly knew who I was talking about. Rabbi's Bonos Osuchel Va'at Olis Al Kolana. I made Kiddush. We were so happy. I finished my Kiddush. And I turned to my wife and I said, I could not thank you enough for what you have done. And I can't thank Hashem enough for giving me a wife like you and for giving us the gift of Shabbos. So he says, Lo megein atensel. Let's dance. So she says, sure. And he said, me and my wife, like a choo-choo train. Then they didn't have choo-choo trains yet. But we joined arms and energies, and we danced around the table. We ate the fish. We made hamoitzi, ate the fish. And after the fish, I was so inspired. I looked at her and I said, how did I get so lucky to be married to a person like you? And how did we get so lucky to have a gift like Shabbos? And how could we express thanks that this Shabbos we could still celebrate with so much ecstasy and delight? Lo megein noch atensel. We have to dance a second time. She said, I'm game. And we danced again around the table for a long time with tremendous joy. We sat down. I ate the chicken. After the chicken, I told my wife, my heart is swelling with joy and ecstasy. We have to dance again. She said, let's go for it. And we danced and danced and danced. That's what happened in my house Friday night. So the Baal Shem Tov is listening, and he says, Shapsi, I want you to know something. When you and your wife danced after Kiddush, and after the fish, and after the chicken, you should know you weren't the only ones dancing. Heaven was dancing with you. The Ribbono Shel Olam himself, Hashem himself, was dancing with you. And all the angels were dancing with you. And I too was celebrating with you. And then he turned to him and he said, is there anything you need? So he said, the one thing we would love as a child, we were never blessed with a child. They didn't have children. So the Baal Shem Tov gave him a blessing that the next year his wife should give birth. And they had a baby. And she named him Yisrael. The same name like the Baal Shem Tov. And he became the Koznitz Maggid. The Koznitz Maggid, his name was Rabbi Yisrael of Koznitz. He wrote a sefer called Avodas Yisrael. Koznitz is a city in Poland. He became one of the luminaries of the Hasidic the world in Poland. He's known as the Koznitz Maggid, Rabbi Yisrael. He was a son of Reb Shapsi, who was the bookbinder of Mezhebush. This is the melucha, the kingship that he wanted every Jew to feel. Person is sitting alone Friday night. They don't even have children. Poor people. They have some candles, the gefilte fish. And they're dancing. He said, heaven is dancing with you. And I also danced with you. The unique recognition of a person's indispensable, non-negotiable value. And the fact that each person is an indispensable note in the cosmic symphony. And that heaven dances with you. That's the malchus that Torah conferred upon the Jew. And in each generation, Moshe bequeathed it in his unique way. David bequeathed it in his unique way. And the Baal Shem Tov bequeathed it in his unique way. That ability for a person to realize what real royalty means. Royalty doesn't mean that all my circumstances are perfect, that I'm living in an ivory tower, that I have no challenge in the world, I have no struggle in the world. I'm eating manna from heaven and in clouds of glory. There's those moments too, and we're very grateful for those moments. The real royalty means that the person realizes that wherever you are, wherever I am, I'm never stuck. There's meaning, there's purpose, there's light, there's infinity, there's a mission here. I'm a shliach, I'm an ambassador of the Ribbono Shel Olam in this world. I'm an ambassador of the Ribbono Shel Olam in these very circumstances. And therefore there's an internal sense of confidence, of empowerment. Person stands tall with an inner joy, not a tallness of vanity or egotism or narcissism or hollow pride, but a pride that comes from a person's inner relationship and connection with the Melech Malchei Hamlochim. Eved Melech Melech, the servant of a king, Rashi says in Parshas Dvarim, is a king, which was why the Baal Shem Tov taught that Geula and Golus are a state of consciousness. Exile is a state of consciousness, and redemption is also a state of consciousness.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org.